What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. We've got a great episode for you tonight, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh. We thought this song was totally appropriate for this episode.
Yes. It doesn't
Black
matter.
or white?
What are you? Who cares?
Welcome
matter,
to
right?
this episode, Rampage. I'm your host, Paulina Aguilar, and you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar, and on Instagram at Paulina Aguilar, and please welcome my lovely co-hosts.
Hey guys, my name is Jenna. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm Pam Gross. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Pamela Gross. Jill.
What's going on, everyone? I'm David. You can find me on Instagram at David_Christopher, Twitter at DPRChristopher. And welcome back, Paulina.
Yes, thank you. I'm so happy to be back. I feel like the timing's perfect because this episode just went...
Yeah.
It was great.
It's a lot to talk about, so let's get started. I want to touch on a little bit because I had no idea that this episode was just going to go far left into what it did.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch on Tony and Camilla because I know that was a big topic last week.
Yes.
And there have been some posts on social media, so I do have those screenshotted and to read to you guys at home. And we do have the live chat open, so feel free to chat it up with us.
I'm
We've got
trying,
people in. Jenna's in charge of it.
I'm trying to keep up with you guys. Before we even started, I opened up my laptop and there's already
on a
like
roll.
100 comments.
All right.
So
Okay,
we see
so
you
this whole
trying to keep up.
Tony and Camilla thing. And I think a lot of people are back and forth on who do you blame. Is it Camilla's fault? Is it Tony's fault? And of course, we see Tony every single week talking so highly of his family, which I think is great. He fucked up again.
He did.
Okay, if anything,
To put it bluntly,
if
yes.
tonight taught us anything, it is that they are, in terms of messing up and then saying sorry, but continuing to mess up repeatedly, they are both two peas in a pod, and they are both to blame. We got a lot of response from everybody saying Camilla's to blame as well, because last week we were dogging on Tony, and I agree. I just want to restate that where she is wrong for hooking up with someone else's man, she is not cheating on someone that trusts her and that loves her. So whereas they're both wrong, that's where I think the Tony blame for that makeout comes in a little harder, because he is actually really hurting someone. He's got a partner and a family. And also, he seemed pretty lucid when he got back into the room. Like, from there, that's the other thing that we just saw tonight. He's back in the bed, and he's like, man, I got a family, all this temptation. And he's in the room, and he's saying how Camilla kind of grabbed his face, and then they replay her
But
saying...
he can't defend that if he's already done it. He
Yeah.
already
Right,
kissed her
right.
at that point.
It's just they're both of them are, like, maybe don't drink.
Dude, you
It's
screwed
not
up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you screwed up. Realistically, you're a piece of shit for what you did. So is Camilla. I think there's no surprise though. You guys all know how I feel. And yeah, the same thing. I think it takes two to tango, and there's no way to point one over the other. It's just that you guys both made the decision. At the end of the day, he's got a family, and I think he's got a lot more to lose.
And
Yeah,
I think it's important to note that even after the kiss, whether it was, instigated by Camilla, that we do go back and we see that Camilla says, think about it, think what you're risking, think about it. And Tony says, there's nothing to think about, we're fine. It kind of sounds like he's okay with it in that moment, even if he's very drunk. But the thing is, again, he goes back into the girls' room and is calling them each out by name, saying, you look so good. Ooh, who's that taking her shirt off? So this is after he's already kissed somebody and cheated on his girlfriend and mother of his child at home. He doesn't even feel the immediate sense of remorse or regret. Like, you would think if you really loved or cared about that person at home, you would be so shook immediately after that happened. You would be distraught, you'd be hysterical, you'd be crying. Doesn't care.
What did I do? I legit think he has a problem, almost like drinking. I think I don't want to give him the write it off as, oh, he's like a sex addict and he's blameless. But he does. It's like he's compulsive. Exactly. He runs into the room.
So did you guys see the post that Tony had made?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
You
yes,
guys
we talked about it.
Right. So in case you guys did not see it at all, I do have it up that he decided not to tweet about that episode He's upset with himself, regardless of how it comes across, and he doesn't blame anybody but himself. I mean, he's doing what you would do after making a mistake, which is apologize.
Right.
His baby mama, Alyssa, deleted all of her social media. So I just assume that they're broken up, and he says that they're not going to talk about it
hope so.
until the reunion is aired, which it's already been filmed.
So Jenna just gave us a little insider knowledge. Can we say that about?
I was
Or from the chat. Thanks,
looking
y'all.
at what you guys posted. So you gave us insider knowledge that it looks like you have the inside scoop that Camilla was banned from the challenge reunion.
Well, I read that every cast member was there, so I don't know. We'll have to find
Okay,
out.
so there's
if
some
everyone was
false
there.
reporting. There's some
So we'll see.
Who's got the real info? What's the real
Right.
411 on
there's
this?
some mixed information, but I did see it looks like a lot of people are saying that Camilla was not there, whether she was banned or that some people think that maybe she was scared because of her racist actions, which we didn't get into yet tonight.
Okay.
But
We will.
there's some speculation on whether she was there or not, but it will definitely be worthwhile hearing what she has to say on the reunion for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, if she doesn't show up, I think she should show up.
I do too.
I think it's a little shady if she doesn't. I
I
mean,
agree.
that
I
comes.
agree.
The thing is, like, being on this kind of show and then having something on that caliber happen, you're gonna get a lot of backlash as it is. This has already been filmed and then it's aired, so she's had to deal with this 3 separate times plus the reunion.
Right, and then what a
That's
coward thing to
lot.
not show up though. That's kind of cowardly, you know what I mean? It's like, really, you're gonna do that? I think it's almost like your duty to show up.
Right.
You know, like,
well, let's get into it.
I hope she
So-
shows up. I mean,
So
it'd be
there's
real
this argument of whether or not what she said was racist. What she said in general was wrong. I don't care who says it, where it's coming from, even if Leroy had said it to her or somebody else, it's still wrong.
It is hands down uncalled for, inappropriate, and just to back up. So as we saw, she storms into the room. It's also all part of a misunderstanding. She just popped off because he was saying to Hunter, if you want to go for the big guys, you want to take him out, someone wants to take her out. She
And she
heard
thought
that
it
and
was
jumped in and said, who's her? Who's her? She was crazy off the chains.
Right, yeah, like
from the get-go.
backtrack. She was just a complete hot mess, and then she just
Right.
kind of butted in, stuck her nose in like a conversation that she had no idea really what they were
Right.
talking about. And then the stuff that she was saying was just like, you can tell, like he didn't want to argue, he didn't want to talk. He's like, dude, I'm not doing this with you. Like,
Right.
she was just so just like, it's like talking to someone who just like, it's like a baby or a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and
like
at
there's-
that point, you don't want to argue with someone
Right,
like that.
right.
And when she is just drunk, it's anything goes. You get defensive. It's all about you, and then that's how it
Right.
just unravels.
Right.
It's actually really scary and uncomfortable to watch her that entire time. She
Right.
starts taking weights from the gym. Who is she gonna throw them
Right.
at? Is she gonna who's
what are
she
you
gonna hurt
what is
with
the
that?
point? What are you doing with that? Like it's just so unnecessary. And then and to go back to the comment of what she said, I don't have tolerance for that. That's bullshit, and I won't put up with that. And like CT said, I give Leroy a lot of credit for the way he handled it. I mean, especially in this day and age, that kind of shit, it's not necessary. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
How the conversation went was exactly what racism is. It had nothing to do with the conversation. She waltzed right in. She started calling him out for his skin color. That was completely unnecessary and called for, and
Not
that's
at all.
exactly what the situation seems to be, is when you're just picking at people for their skin color or maybe their sex, which has nothing to do with the conversation at hand. And it's ridiculous, and it just looked
And I will
terrible.
say, and I know you hate this guy, but I will say there later on the episode there was a point when Tony was talking to her. He did make a good
Don't
point.
say hate.
Well,
That's
yeah.
a strong word.
Okay, you strongly dislike Tony. But there was a point when he was talking to Camilla, and he said, she obviously can't physically hurt someone, so she tries to chop him down with her words. And I
Yes.
think specifically that's what she was doing. It was directly just trying to like hurt him.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where it becomes, whether calling someone the fact of the matter of their skin color, it's like, is it derogatory to call Nicole skinny? I think it's context. If you're saying, you skinny bee or something, she said it in anger. She said
Right. It was malicious.
in a malicious intent,
Right.
therefore it becomes racist. Where
Right.
I understand that just simply saying, we were saying before we went live, if you said, you're a strong black man and I understand that's different, that's not how this went
Right.
down. Simply pointing out a fact of someone's physicality isn't in and of itself racist. The way that she spoke, and with anger and in malintent, in that context, yes, it becomes racist. She meant it to be bad. or hurtful. But back to that, I agree. I'll give credit where credit's due. That was very keen of Tony. I really did.
Right,
That was, he really kind of, I was like, wow, Tony says something very clarifying. It's true. It was, you were angry, you were lashing out, you can't start a fist fight, so you were saying things like, in addition to the physicality or racist comment, she was saying, you're a piece of shit, you haven't won any competitions, which he took in as a whole. When he addressed her, he said, those were things that made me feel bad. It's not just about race.
Listing them off as if they're all on the same caliber. Like, oh, you're black. Oh, you haven't won. Oh, you're POS. He's just as if they're all the same thing. Like, being a black man is not on the same level of not winning reality TV.
And he held his composure well, too, during all of that, you know? So I give that guy credit for that, because, I mean, obviously that hurt him, you know? That was painful. And for him to just keep himself together the way he did, you know, I respect that.
Yeah. And I don't understand if she genuinely is so upset. I know that she's remorseful, but if you are, how do you not immediately go and apologize to Leroy when you step back into the house?
So, Camilla posted a story on her Instagram about the situation, and in the story she says that she didn't go up to Leroy immediately because she didn't remember what happened.
Okay.
So somebody filled her in, whether it was the crew who showed her footage or it was someone from the house. Because she seemed upset when she came in, but after something like that, that's something that you go straight to. You know, you go to Leroy first.
Right.
So I don't know when she found out. I don't know how she found out, but she was told, I guess, later on. It must have been later on. Now, she also posted on Instagram with a post about the situation, and I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Quote, I am deeply sorry for how I treated Leroy and take full responsibility for my actions. He handled himself with grace. I wish I could say the same for myself, and from the bottom of my heart, I meant no disrespect, and I wish I could take every word I said. But I can't, and I had to live knowing that I disrespected a human being whom I care very much. The last thing I would ever want to do is put anyone in a box based on skin color. I have a deep love for humanity and sincerely regret my reckless words and abhorrent behavior. Moving forward, I am 100% committed to never letting anything like this happen again. We tend to see Camilla fly off the handle every season. Mm-hmm. It's never gone to this level where she's throwing words out, but at a certain point, and I think I can say this for Tony as well, it's like maybe being in this environment in a house with 20 other people with free alcohol is not a good situation for you. You know, Tony preaches about wanting to provide for his family. How about you try the old-fashioned way and go in and get a job and work 9 to 5? Right. And then you can get some stability and some benefits, because being on the challenge isn't going to give you that.
Pauline, I agree with you. Hey, look, I'm not going to knock anyone's hustle, however they decide to make money. Do your thing. Do your thing. I'm not going to knock on that.
I'm just saying that this situation is not good for Tony, and it doesn't seem like it's a good situation
yes,
for
I agree.
Camilla.
I agree with that, and I will say, like, exactly, you know your problems, you know your weaknesses, you know how you act, so remove yourself from those situations. I completely agree with you on that. You know what I mean? You're a grown damn man. You got a family. You know better. And to backtrack a little bit, too, with the Camilla thing, for her to sit back and say, hey, I don't know what happened, which I personally I don't buy, I don't believe it, but for her to even say that, you know, there's so much that went on. You knew something went on, and you knew who it went on with, even if you don't remember exactly what happened or what was said. I think the natural thing would be to address that person and say, hey, like, what happened last night? Like, let me pull you aside, like, you know, tell me what happened, fill me in, like, you know, something.
What it seemed like is that she had already knew, because she avoided the situation, and she automatically went to Tony and talked about vaguely what had happened. She obviously wasn't talking about the bus.
It was like guilt. It was like guilt, and also it was cowardly, to be honest. You know, and I think it was she got defensive.
I would be embarrassed too. I would be scared to go up to him.
Yeah, but I think the right thing to do would be.
Absolutely.
I think if you're in that situation, you just have to go handle it right away.
Agreed.
Nip it in the butt.
I think it was weak sauce that he had to be like, before we start, do you want to say anything? Like
that guy kind of sucked that he had to like be the one to like, hey, like, you need to talk to, you know, like that's.
I don't know if you guys have ever been in this position though, where you have royally screwed up to the point where you are like, I'm just gonna hide, like you are screwed up too. It's like, I'm gonna leave you alone for a little while. That's the only. I think I do believe that she didn't know exactly what happened. I do think she woke up in a hotel. She obviously got removed. You know what I mean? It's not like that's your first indication yet. You did something wrong. I think she knew that she did something wrong. I think she just, I don't know the pacing of how it happened with the edit.
Right.
I don't know if she didn't get a chance to. I agree that it's like the first thing you do is nut up, for lack of a better term, and address it. and that it was real crappy that she didn't. I'm not condoning. I think she was abhorrent, as she said. I think that's completely unacceptable on any level. But I am giving her a little. I do empathize with when you feel like such crap that you don't even know what to say. For me, like, you need to.
But there's not much more than what she's already said. She's apologized. Do you think it's genuine? Because what some people say is that when you drink, the truth comes out.
I don't believe that.
I don't think that what she said she actually meant. I think she is genuinely sorry.
Like, I don't believe.
But what
believe.
more can she do for it to be okay?
What, she didn't mean that he's black? I mean, like, she was mad and she was trying
She didn't mean it in a racist way,
like,
but the fact that she said something or made a comment about his skin color means that there's something in her subconscious about that. Like, if no matter how drunk you are, blacked out, or reckless words, when something comes out, it's obviously something you've at least thought about, even without realizing it before.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think she's necessarily racist. I think it was specifically an intent to hurt, and she knows that's. I mean, it's a touchy subject, you know, and I think that's why she directly went to that, because she knew, like, okay, this is gonna get under your skin, and I think that's what it was. I don't think it's necessarily like I'm racist and I hate black people, and you know, but.
Absolutely, and that's a low blow, and it's weak. And this is back to, Paulina, what you brought up about Tony's apology, which is lovely. How many times I think we've seen Tony start on this season saying, I've screwed up before, I'm going to be a better man. This is where it becomes, Camilla, Tony, you guys need to take yourselves in hand. This is not acceptable. Be it cheating, that's his own thing. Again, like, there's two levels to this. One is kind of fun, BS the show and dogging Tony for cheating on his, you know, which, do it, Tony, I don't care. I mean, like, it's not great. It's not a great role model. This, and I hate to get serious, but in, like, there is a zero I think there should be, in our climate, in the world right now, there's too much riding on this, that there has to be a zero tolerance of any, whether it's racist or not. It's like, it's don't
based
go,
off
shut
of
up.
That, do you think that Camilla should have been kicked off the show?
I think it would have sent a nice message. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not sitting here. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys?
Well, no, well, just in general, because that came up. I thought
like
she
zero.
was.
I like that.
I thought that she was.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen people go home for fighting physically, and we've seen people stay for fighting physically.
Right.
So this is something new. I think that MTV hasn't dealt with yet before. They dealt with it in the Real World show before, but should they have sent her home?
Given the situation of it being the first time, I understand that. I mean, how do you handle it? It's the first time, right?
It's
So I get
not
that.
the first time, too. Like, I can recall some
it's
actively racist comments.
Right, but I mean, in that kind of situation, but on the flip side, too, I would think to address what you're saying is to make some kind of penalty, maybe even if you don't go home,
or a fine.
maybe you're out a challenge or some kind of fine, something.
An elimination or something.
Yeah, you're automatically sentenced something.
That's what they fine football players for, their slurs and things like that, and basketball players. They get fined too for saying the wrong thing to a ref.
It's very true.
Maybe
very
her
true.
win should have been taken away, and she should have gone into that. I thought would have been fair. Like, look, we have a zero tolerance. You're not physically harming someone, so we're not going to send you home.
Right. So let us know what you guys think. Tweet at us. Put it in the live chat. What if there would have been a repercussion? What should it have been? You know what? I don't want to put Camilla down. She knows what she did. She's apologized for it. Everybody has seen it that follows her and on social media.
It is what
she
it is. Has to live
it's
with
already
now.
happened. And you know what? I have to give props for Leroy, because I think if it were anybody else, just like CT said, if it were me, I mean, I don't know how offended I would have been, because I get made fun of all the time. But those are my friends. You know, it's I don't. You know, it's not. Anybody else would have been blown up and would have yelled at her or did a little bit more.
Right. Not only it being a racist comment, but you're saying it to Leroy, the coolest, most level-headed, down-to-earth guy in the house. What can you ever say against Leroy to come in there?
He's a bad swimmer.
Full head of steam, and ever even pick a fight with him, and then it being about the color of his skin just makes zero sense.
No, he handled it probably the best that anybody could. He made her look bad herself.
Right.
Which is probably the best thing that you could have done.
Agreed. That's the best punishment.
Thank
She
you.
has to live with that. And
Thank you to Andre SGC. Poor Jenna has to keep up with a pretty lively live chat tonight. A lot of people are saying Camilla's a liability. Camilla should have been sent to elimination, sent her home, no excuses. So obviously that's a good idea that the MTV could set the bar higher and take mental abuse and slurs and racism as high as they do physical fights.
Right.
Yeah, well, one thing that Leroy did tweet, because he does not have an Instagram, was he says, funny how at Camilla MTV is so quick to jump on social media and apologize to strangers, but is yet to reach out to me directly.
Really?
So, is what we saw tonight the only apology she has made to him face to face?
Sounds like it from what Leroy
Wow.
And I don't see him as a liar.
No.
Yeah,
Especially
Leroy's the
after his
coolest.
grace in handling that. I agree.
Right. And I don't think we're going to be able to see any of this unfold until the reunion comes, if Camilla is there. I hope she is there, and I hope people don't go too hard on her, because I don't know.
I don't know. She deserves to be gone hard on.
Yeah, but look, she
especially-
deserves to be, like, talked about it and all that, but, like, don't, you know, what she said and did was wrong, but don't be the Camilla on this side and talk shit on her to make it worse.
Right.
Right.
Don't beat a
You
dead
know,
horse. Right.
Yeah,
I get it.
It seems
I get
strange to me that Camilla has not addressed Leroy in person, because she's not one to back down from anything. Even if
Right.
she is wrong, she has apologized to people, she has taken people aside before and admitted her faults, or has at the same time gone at people with a
Right.
full head of steam in person. So it seems weird that she has not taken it
I
upon
think
herself to hash it out in person. It doesn't seem like a part of her personality. So
I think
that
it's
sends
because
us
it's
a
little
message.
too sensitive.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a certain level of embarrassment too. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably all those, but nonetheless, it's probably been enough time that I am surprised she hasn't said anything to Leroy, who, again, deserves all the praise in the world for
Really, he
being
does.
eloquent, cool as a cucumber, saying, I don't think she's right. I mean, obviously they're friends, and he's taking what we're all just sort of like,
Right.
Yeah.
he's saying, I don't think she's racist, but this litany of insults, and my skin color being one of them that she laid on me with steam, is real shitty. And I did think he put her in her place. I think she felt like a shamed dog, which she should. But I can't believe, did she reply to him? Does anyone know?
No,
Did she
I
respond to
did
that?
not.
And we do have to bring up, a lot of people in the live chat also pointed at this as well, that we saw that Veronica was tweeting that a lot more derogatory terms came out of Camilla's mouth towards Leroy. Okay, so you didn't see Camilla coming into our room saying many racist comments while Nelson was lying there biting his tongue.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Claiming
Nelson too.
so Camilla was claiming she was the one that was a victim of racism because she had to leave the house. Her white Brazilian self had a big black man in her face, and since they chose to remove her from the house, MTV was being racist against her. So
This is a lot of, you know, it's become one of those, it's his story and her word and his word and what's the truth. And, you know, we see what MTV wants us to see. We don't see what Veronica's talking about. Veronica was there, and that's all gonna come out. And even at the reunion when they discuss it, we are still not gonna know what is the truth.
Well, why don't we get him in here and find out though?
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
We'll find out the truth.
Again, even that was still the unhinged rantings of a wasted person, which I'm not excusing, but I do, the things that are coming out of the Camillinator's mouth in that mindset, not that it's an excuse, but they're not necessarily, I'm sure she did say horrible things. We heard her say horrible things. It's all bad, and she shouldn't, again, it's not the same as Tony's behavior, but those two need to learn to maybe get a grip. It's those things shouldn't happen.
And how many
and
times?
you can apologize, and it's change. Show actions speak louder
And she
than
has said
words.
that she wants to and that she's trying.
And she
So
did.
I hope that everyone gets to see that.
And it's hard. I mean, I you know, I think she is being held accountable for this. I think the whole world is holding her accountable for this. And I'm glad. You know what I mean? Beyond that, I don't think she's a horrible person. I you know, but that stuff can't happen. She needs to not do it anymore.
Can I just say how much of a jerk or how much of a dick Bananas is to throw that damn pillow? Because that made it worse.
God.
That's true.
That made it worse.
That's
She
true,
was
yeah,
walking
that-
out.
Yeah.
of the room.
Yeah.
This is
before
Johnny
she
Bananas.
grabbed
That
the weights
escalated.
before anything, and he had to throw that goddamn pillow.
But
Yeah.
that's typical Bananas too, though.
Yeah,
know?
but that's
But
a little
that-
fucked up after that
That's true.
situation,
That
though.
is-
Like,
yes, that is
why
very
do you
true.
have to escalate that? Like,
It's
that,
textbook
that I-
Bananas, though.
Yeah,
Oh
but
my
that I
God.
don't look. Bananas does a lot of
He's an
stupid,
instigator.
funny crap, which I've laughed at before.
It's bad
but
taste,
that's
yeah.
a little
I remember when
uncalled for.
I mean,
Paula and Laura were fighting about her eating disorder a few challenges back, and they were throwing soda on Cara Maria, and Johnny Bananas threw an empty water bottle at Cara Maria. Like, this is textbook Bananas, and he loves instigating. But then, like, backing up
Right.
as soon as someone goes, "Who threw that pillow?" "Oh, what pillow? What are you talking about? The one I just threw? I didn't
That's
see
true.
anything."
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Think about how-
bad timing. Bad timing.
how uncomfortable we were watching it on the TV.
Right.
Bananas was there and still was like that is Bananas, man.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't add levity either. It like, the Camillinator sprung back out again.
Too soon?
No,
Too
Right.
soon?
Too soon? Yes.
All right, well,
Bananas.
let's
Too
get
soon.
on to something
Too
a little
soon,
bit
too
more
soon.
fun and not so
Okay.
serious.
Yes,
Let's get
moving
down
on,
to
moving
the
on.
studio.
Dark.
Yeah.
Right? Well, hopefully it doesn't get darker than that.
I know, that was an uncomfortable
So we
challenge
had the game
episode.
Rampage where they got to wrestle down their little platform. That was a good match with the guys.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I loved it. That was awesome.
I like all these
both.
physical eliminations that they're doing because it's like, yeah, get him.
Right, right.
You know?
And just backing up a little bit too, just how that even went down. I mean, just the double cross was awesome. Like, how Jordan, dude, like, how are you doing this,
Right.
man? Like, that's awesome, you know. And just for it to
Yeah.
work out the way they did, and just the comment Banana said, like, you know, how funny if single-handedly Hunter takes out his own alliance.
And that's
That's
exactly
exactly what
happening.
happened. Like, that
Oh
is.
my-
That's great. So I thought it was great.
Oh
and
my
then,
gosh.
man, respect for both those guys. That was an awesome match. Awesome.
I mean, that was insane. What do you think as a physical competitor about that? Like, did,
I
did you have
mean, it's very,
strategy for
yes,
that?
very. Just, I mean, it's similar to jiu-jitsu in the sense, but the thing is, it's dead weight when you're on the ground. Like, you got to look for any advantage you can for leverage to use any kind of strength that you have, you know, to get that advantage. And it's just, it's core, it's legs, it's upper body, it's everything. And if one person's obviously way more than the other, you're at disadvantage because you're both just dead weight on the ground. So, and as you saw that gator roll, happened to Hunter when he rolled over
Nelson
down.
flipped
Yeah, Nelson flipped.
over
Yeah, like you saw,
on
that's
his
just
back.
the weight, you know, because he's a bigger guy. And
I was a little bit surprised that it was Nelson that ended up winning this elimination because he's very strong and athletic, but don't you think Hunter has a little bit more muscle mass on him?
I wasn't because the size difference when you're dead weight like that on the ground, it comes down. That's all it is.
oh,
And I
it's
feel
harder to
'cause-
pick up your own body weight.
Right, because
in
I
there.
mean, now Nelson is bigger. You know, he's a taller dude, and I would guess he weighs more, so he's a little bit heavier, right? So being flat on the ground, it's like I said, if you don't have an advantage to pull or use your upper body strength, you're literally just rolling against that person's body weight. And if
And
he's taller and bigger, it's a lot harder, you know.
It's also so hard because this was just a flat surface.
Yeah.
Nothing
Right,
to pull
exactly.
on, no holes for you to stick your fingers in. How are you supposed to inchworm your body carrying
Right.
somebody else's
Exactly.
body? I feel like your limbs are ripping apart.
Oh.
You're attached to shoulders, waist, ankles, everything. There's not really a lot of leverage
core.
to
I
help
feel
you
like
Lot
that's
of
where
core.
CrossFit
strategize.
workouts kind of
That's-
kick in,
that's
and you're
exactly-
like,
that's a
all
lot of
right,
core,
Whoever
a
can
lot
do
of
the
core.
worm.
No, you know what? I thought the girls were going to be a little bit better because I had sized them perfectly. I was like,
Yeah.
Nicole says that she doesn't weigh that much, but because Brittany is so thin, I thought it was going to be at least a little closer.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought Nicole put up a little bit more of a fight. I was bummed to see her go, but I liked them both. But yeah, it wasn't really much of a competitive match. So
Yeah, no, it was a really unlucky elimination for Nicole. I think
Right.
they do kind of look similar body sizes on TV, but it really just is a testament to how skinny Nicole is. Like, she is tiny.
But
She doesn't.
Brittany
She's not
is
really
too.
the one. Brittany, no, I saw some muscles on her. She seems athletic. She's got a little bit of muscle in her
Ti-
thighs.
I mean, they're
She's still thin.
better her
Yeah.
Brittany than anyone else. Though,
yeah, yeah. So it was the
against
best
Nicole.
matchup Nicole
Yeah.
could have gone up against.
Yeah.
Sure, but either way, Nicole wasn't coming out.
And then
on
her
top.
and then
Yeah.
her comment too during it, she's like, I don't care. I'm gonna give her all I got, and I'm still going for it. And just like her attitude towards it, though, like she was just still so feisty, even though she was like getting her butt kicked. And I like that. I respect
What could
that.
she have done?
Right,
Really?
right. You know, but I mean, just some people be like, oh, I'm freaking out or stressing out, but she was still so confident. It's, you know, so.
Well,
Yeah.
Charlene Cernagle in the chat wants to know, is Punk still training?
Training, yes, I am. Not so much. I don't compete. I haven't competed in a long time, but I definitely train. Yes. I do personal training as well. So yes, yes. So I'm training martial arts right now currently.
We
Still,
were
yeah.
talking about CM Punk.
I I thought.
No,
too.
we're
I was
back
like,
on the Champs vs. Pros.
Oh.
This is
Oh.
about
Oh.
CM Punk.
The
Sorry,
wrong Punk.
David.
No, okay.
Not
Wow.
Talking about the wrong Punk.
But who cares about CM Punk?
I
We
know.
have David
Yeah,
Punk
Right.
Rock Christopher here.
After last season, we don't talk about CM Punk anymore. Okay.
Oh.
Wash our hands
Oh,
with
that's
that one. But David, good to know.
Yeah, good to know. Good to
But
know.
David
Personal
is
training.
a good insider for this elimination
Yeah.
because you have the
Hands-on
background where,
experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you have gone against if you had your pick from any of the guys?
All of the
like,
guys.
who's a good matchup for you?
I don't know. Probably Dario. I think I'd probably do well with Dario.
He's got
probably
broader shoulders than you a little
Probably
bit.
the easiest. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Dario,
he
he's
doesn't-
calling you
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Hey, we've had him
dude,
in the
like-
studio before. We can make this happen.
All
I
right.
don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, you got to see these guys in person. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. I have to see what you guys weigh. What are you weighing? You know?
Send your numbers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week we see Tony flying off the handle this time. Camilla and Tony. I mean,
That's what I'm
the show
saying.
is entertaining.
I
Keep
can't
it going.
wait.
If MTV wants to keep you on here,
I
it's
can't wait to
working.
see what Tony's new episode is
Just like a
about.
rewind. You know, like
The
Right.
thing is, it's like you just saw what happened with Camilla, and now you want to go that road too.
Doesn't learn.
I have to
Doesn't
ask
learn.
if we can ever get Tony or Camilla on the show, if they watch the
Camilla-
episodes.
Camilla has been here before. I've interviewed her
Right.
with our old panel. I don't remember if she doesn't live here from what I remember. I don't know if that's changed. But, I mean, we'll give it a shot for you guys and reach out and see if they would like to come.
I would
I
love to see
honestly-
Tony here with you guys. I would love to see that. that'd be
Camilla's
awesome.
In the
I want to
current
know if
cast.
they watch
I'm sorry?
themselves and if they're deeply watching themselves and then seeing, oh, maybe I should change this way I'm acting.
Some people can't watch themselves on TV.
Well, the
So
two
I
of
don't
them
know.
got sent home together when they were on. I mean, this is not the first, nor the second, nor even the third time that the two of them have messed up and been so sorry and are gonna try and change. So it begs the question: what are you doing to try and change? You know?
Yeah.
That's where. But wait, isn't Camilla on the current season of what they're doing? Champs versus athletes?
Yeah,
All-Stars
it's
or-
no, it's not champs. It's all stars
All-Stars.
versus celebrities.
Because that's here in LA.
But we do
so-
have some
They're-
reports from the
they,
live chat
Oh,
where
okay.
people
They're
are saying
done-
she's been banned
Ooh,
From the All-Stars?
What?
just from doing challenges. But we
Ooh.
obviously, that's a hard
Camilla?
piece of news. This is what some people
okay,
are saying, but we don't know
that
how to
doesn't make
verify.
sense to me because after the challenge,
might not
they
be true.
filmed the All Stars
Right.
versus Celebrities show, and she
She's
was
on it.
on that. So,
Yeah.
well, she was on the cast list. So I
right.
don't know if she made it to air because they do have subs. The Tori is a sub, so I don't know.
Do some research. You're good at that.
Ooh,
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Venmo. Check
Let
it
us know,
out.
let us
That's our
know.
favorite place.
Okay.
We will find out as soon as we get news. Of course, we give it to you here live on the show.
We do have a question that I like from Mason in the live chat. Do you
Okay.
guys think Nelson would have taken out Jordan or Dario if it wasn't Hunter in the elimination? How do you think?
I think Dario for sure. I think for sure.
Yeah.
Jordan, I think that would have been good. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would have been
I
good.
would
think
have liked to
Jordan
see
might
a
have
Nelson.
won that one.
I think
Good.
Hunter's a good competitor, so I think if he took out Hunter,
It's possible.
it
That's
is possible. I think
Anything's
Dario
possible.
for sure. I think Jordan gets like, I don't know where he pulls it out of Scrappy, so he might have stood a better chance. But I think taking out Hunter was as good as taking out Dario for
And
sure.
they're both
think so,
man.
too.
They
Yeah,
went
then-
for
yeah.
it. They went
Yeah,
for
what
it.
do you
So.
want?
I agree.
Yeah,
I think Jordan would have won that one.
Jordan-
Dario,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jordan would have put up a good fight, but Dario,
I don't
Yeah.
know. He's a good competitor, but I would have been just as good.
yeah.
It would have been just as good. Well,
Yeah.
what's not good is that it's a food challenge next week, and I almost threw up watching that goddamn thing.
We forgot. We have to have a quick interlude about the horse and buggy ride that Anissa and Corey went on.
Right.
Oh, God.
What about that little interlude?
How did,
Poor
how did how
Marie.
did this like elimination or like little you're going home type of thing
Transform
turn
into
into like a
that?
Right, like
a
a-
vacation, like let's hang out and go on a horse and buggy
A
and be
Muppets in
romantic,
Manhattan
right?
date.
Like
yeah, like
how is that at all fair?
Hey,
You know,
Anissa
like-
had the feels.
Right,
touching
right.
Corey.
oh my
Always
goodness.
does.
that
But I mean,
was-
it's just like, dude, it makes you. It's like, cool. I want to go get eliminated, so I can just go chill and hang out, and go
Yeah.
on dates, and then come back later. You know, like
yeah. That was a really nice little break in this episode.
Yeah.
That was like
To lighten
rah,
things up.
stuff, rah, competitive stuff, and then it's like, Corey, I'm glad. Like, yeah, I'm glad too, girl. Like, that was just the, like,
Hey, they had to show something of what was
there
going
had to be
on in that
something.
house.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
we haven't seen them in forever, and hopefully they come back and kick some butt.
yeah,
next
poor
week.
Marie. She doesn't have to talk to balls anymore, but she still has to talk to herself in her terrible hat.
Her
Oh,
third
Marie. Yeah, we need. Well, now hopefully she'll get Hunter and Nicole to hang out with.
Yeah.
well,
All
they're
right,
coming
guys.
back
Well,
in.
thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and be sure to stay tuned for next week. We loved having you in the chat. We had
Yes.
so many people. We love the questions. Keep coming at us. David, where can they all find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at DavidPunkRockChristopher, and you can find me on Twitter at DPRChristopher.
All right. And thank you guys. We love the show. We love talking about it. So I'd love to hear from you on Twitter, Instagram. Want to hear your thoughts. We can continue the conversation. I'm at Pamela Gross Jill.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for being so active in the chat tonight. Definitely gave me a run for my money. I'm still have to
Still
go back.
reading it.
Jenna's challenge. Keep up with the live chat.
I still have to go back and read this entire novel that you wrote us, but thank you. And my name is Jenna. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar. And we will see you all next week.
Later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Oh no, you.